All right, thank you so much for joining us here on ABC24 Plus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett with an update on the forecast and what we are going to be expecting here over the next 24 hours or so. Of course, it is going to be an active day and night of weather. I'm sure you've heard about that potential of a wintry mix in the Mid-South, and that is true, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. If someone has told you this is going to be a snow event, you are following the wrong weather source because we are not going to see snow this time. It is going to be a lot of rain, a cold rain, maybe a little sleet mixed in at times. But even then, no impact, no accumulation really expected. Let's get right to it. We'll talk about what we are following, and we will give you a heads up to the potential of that wintry mix for today and for tonight. But let's break it down a little bit more. There's a potential of rain and sleet to mix in. That would be mainly north of Interstate 40. Most of us, including here in Memphis, are going to see a lot of rain, and that is about it. There might be a couple of sleet pellets that mix in at times, but a lot of the Mid-South is going to see just rain. The potential for some sleet mixing in is a little bit higher the further north you go. Even then, though, little to no impact is expected. I think for most of us, we're going to wake up tomorrow like nothing happened and go right to work and school. Of course, a couple of degrees can make a difference here, but based off the data that I've been looking at, not only for this morning, but for the last several days, it just seems like we're going to be just a few degrees too warm for any major impacts for tomorrow, which is some good news. So let's kind of go through the forecast here as we look through the rest of today. Rain is going to start to move in as we get further into the afternoon. By 1 or 2 p.m., we're going to start to see some rain come into Memphis. And again, for most of us, it's just going to be rain. There could be some sleet that mixes in at any time. We've already seen a couple of sleet pellets in eastern Arkansas, but especially for Memphis, it looks like rain. Temperatures well above freezing, so we're not worried about that. Now, once the sun sets, it's going to stay above freezing at the surface. We're 36 at 6 p.m., but up in the atmosphere, it might get just cold enough for some sleet pellets to mix in. But of course, with temperatures above freezing at the ground, that's why I'm telling you, I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal. Nothing to write home about. Here's the hour-by-hour radar. Just kind of walk it through, and there's a couple of things I want you to watch here. First of all, notice your temperatures. They're plotted on the map. We'll watch that. And also notice kind of where the dividing line is. Green and yellow, that's rain. Pink is where we might see some sleet mix in. And then blue, that's where it's going to be snow. We're not going to see a lot of blue here in the Mid-South, I'll tell you that. We've already seen some light rain showers come into eastern Arkansas. We've even seen some sleet pellets mix in with that. But I think as this rain first moves in this afternoon, it's going to be rain for 90% of us. Here's 1 p.m. Notice some rain creeping into eastern Arkansas. The wintry mix still way off to our north. Everybody's above freezing, so not a big deal here. And to be honest with you, we've seen a little more sunshine than what the models were maybe anticipating. We've seen kind of some breaks in the clouds, some blue sky. That sunshine has come in and has actually pushed our temperatures a little bit higher than what even some models were thinking. So the models were already thinking we were going to be above freezing, but now that sunshine has pushed the temperature up even more. So even a better sign that there probably won't be too much of an impact here. 4 p.m., rain for everybody. Don't get me wrong. This will be a sloppy evening commute just for the rain. It is going to be very rainy. Roads will be wet. There could be some traffic delays out there just because of the rain that's coming through. But at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., everybody is still above freezing. Everybody is seeing mostly rain. Again, maybe some sleet pellets mix in. We are seeing a couple of pink dots over in eastern Arkansas. There could be some sleet pellets mixing in at this point, but I think for most of us, it's just rain. Now, once the sun starts to set, the temperatures up in the atmosphere cool down a little bit more, and that's when we could start to see some more sleet mix in. So here's 7 p.m. tonight. 36 in Memphis, still raining, should be mostly rain, maybe a few sleet pellets, but we're really getting some indications here now by 7 p.m. in those pink areas. That's where there could be kind of a bona fide rain sleet mix at times. Notice your temperature, though, above freezing where that's happening, Dyersburg and Covington. Even if you do see some sleet mixing in, it'll be above freezing at the surface. 9 p.m. Same thing. Everybody's above freezing, at least just above it. Everybody's seeing rain for the most part, there's a few areas where there could be some sleet mixing in. That's when we could see a little bit of sleet in Memphis, 9 or 10 p.m. But again, 35 degrees. Most everybody's in the mid-30s. So we're all seeing rain, maybe some sleet mixing in at times. Now what happens is this rain and sleet mix starts to move out by midnight. Again, for most of us, it's going to be rain. Memphis, maybe a couple of sleet pellets. And then up to the north, that's probably where the better chance for some sleet to mix in is going to be. But what happens is at midnight, that all starts to clear out. Temperatures still at or above freezing. There's 35 in Memphis, 33 in Dyersburg and Truman. But what's going to happen is once the rain and sleet exits, that's when our temperatures could drop a little bit. So 4 a.m. tomorrow, whatever's falling out of the sky is done. I think that's going to be done by midnight or 1 a.m. Nothing else will fall from the sky, but that's when colder air will start to move in. So by 4, 5, 6 a.m., nothing's going to be falling from the sky at this point, but we do drop to just around freezing or just below it. 6 a.m., just before the sun comes up, we could get right to 30 in Dyersburg and Covington, 31 in Memphis, 31 in Tunica, even some upper 20s in eastern Arkansas. But then the sun immediately comes up. So this is a really narrow window here between 4, 5, 6 a.m. that we might dip below freezing. And then as the sun comes up, we quickly climb again. So now noon, everybody's back to 35, 36, 37. So once the rain and maybe some sleet clears out, temperatures do drop below freezing. So we will have to keep a close eye on the roadways because that could allow a couple of spots to freeze. But I don't think it's going to be a long enough freeze for any major issues. This is going to be 2 or 3 hours that we get to 30 degrees and then right back up. Really, especially with the ground being a little warmer, you need temperatures to be at or below freezing for several hours or way below freezing, like in the 20s, for stuff to really freeze on the roadways. So even though we do get just below freezing, I don't think we're going to have ice covering the roadways. And another reason for that is going to be the wind. So we have rain for most of us. That could, of course, leave some puddles out there that theoretically could freeze. But watch what happens as the rain ends. Watch the clock up here. By about midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning, our winds pick up. So it is going to be a cold and blustery wind out of the north. That's what's going to kind of bring in that colder air and allow our temperature to get just below freezing. But also with gusty wind, we're going to get kind of a blow dry effect. So midnight, the rain ends. Temperatures still above freezing at that point. The winds will pick up. That should blow dry the roadways quite a bit, get rid of some of those puddles before temperatures hit freezing. So I'm not overly concerned about travel issues Tuesday morning. Most of us are going to wake up. You're not going to see that anything happened. It's going to be very cold and windy Tuesday morning. But this is not a situation that we're going to have black ice all over the place. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit, but I do want to talk about what you can expect to fall from the sky. For most of us, it's rain. Memphis, I think it's mainly rain. North Mississippi, certainly almost all rain. I can't rule out some sleet pellets at times, especially by 9 or 10 p.m. But for Memphis and North Mississippi, I think it's mostly rain. North of I-40, Wynn, Poinsett County, Mississippi County, Arkansas, Dyer County, Lauderdale County, maybe Covington. That's where there could be more of a steady rain and sleet mix. It may be a little more sleet than rain at times. But again, like I said, that's because temperatures above the ground are below freezing. Once that gets down to the surface, it's going to melt because we're still at 35 or 36. And this is kind of a good explainer for that, what sleet is and how it happens. Everything starts off as snow way, way, way up in the clouds. But what happens is it runs into a layer of warmer air. That snow melts into rain, and then it goes back through cold air and refreezes into those tiny ice pellets. In this case, it then gets back into warm air again at the surface and then melts again once it falls. So could there be some sleet pellets laying around a little in the grass, maybe on your tabletop, especially way up toward Dyersburg, Blytheville? Maybe. But that shouldn't be an issue for the roadways. By the way, what sleet is, again, it's rain that freezes into little pellets. It makes a lot of noise when it's sleeting. That's how you kind of get a good idea that it is sleeting. It's those little balls of ice that fall from the sky. So this is what we're going to see mixed in with rain. I would be surprised, very surprised, if many of us see snow at all. Maybe a snowflake or two mixes in way up north toward Dyersburg, but for most of us, it's going to be rain and sleet. Thankfully, I do not expect a lot of freezing rain. Freezing rain is when it's raining and then freezes on contact. It makes those icicles. That's what makes the roads bad. I don't expect a lot of that. One or two neighborhoods could get a little glaze on the branches, but again, with temperatures at 35 or 36 at the ground, it just doesn't look too serious to me. So as far as impacts go, Memphis and points to the south, I'm really not concerned. Again, temperatures don't get below freezing for that long. It's going to be windy. Rain should clear out. So I really don't expect any issues on the roadways for Memphis and North Mississippi. Up to the north of I-40, again, those same areas I just talked about, Poinsett County, Mississippi County, Blytheville, the Boot Heel, Dyersburg, Lauderdale County, Covington, maybe Brownsville. It could be just cold enough that one or two slick spots develop on the bridges. I don't think this will be an ice over event, but you might want to take it slow Tuesday morning just in case. There could be one or two isolated slick spots on your drive in. Might just want to give yourself a little extra time and, of course, keep an extra eye out. But even that is a low impact. I think most of us will see roads clear by Tuesday morning. But again, north of Memphis, bridges and overpasses, maybe a patch or two, where one little puddle's frozen over. I don't think that's going to be all over the roads, which is good news. So for tonight, again, the rain picks up by this afternoon into this evening. There could be sleet that mixes in at times, but then overnight, slightly better chance of that rain and sleet mix. Temperatures, again, above freezing at the surface. So even if it is sleeting, we're not going to see major accumulations there. Temperatures don't get below freezing until after the rain clears out. So by 6 a.m., we do get to 31. Again, a very low chance that a puddle or two could freeze up. But with the gusty wind tonight, I don't think there's going to be too much puddles left after the rain clears out. Just might want to keep an extra eye out early tomorrow morning. It is going to be cold and breezy tomorrow as most of us go back to work and school. I don't expect those to be closed down. It's going to be pretty chilly tomorrow overall, but generally above freezing. Highs near 40 with some sunshine, and I do not expect any more precipitation tomorrow. By the way, I do want to invite you to join the ABC24 Weather Watchers. Sometimes, radar doesn't have a great idea of what's actually happening at the surface, so we would love your reports of what is happening in your neighborhood. You can scan that QR code or just go to Facebook and search ABC24 Weather Watchers. That could take you to our Facebook group. Join it, send photos, videos, reports of where you are and what precipitation you're seeing. That really helps us out, helps the National Weather Service out, because radar sometimes just does not get a good handle on whether it's sleet, snow, or freezing rain or regular rain. So your reports can really help us out. Again, just search ABC24 Weather Watchers on Facebook. 7-day forecast as we wrap this up here. Rain comes in this afternoon and this evening. For most of us, it's a lot of rain. That's all it's going to be. North of I-40 especially, there could be some sleet that mixes in. But the rest of us, even in Memphis, I think it's just mainly rain. I can't rule out a sleet pellet or two, but further north, maybe a better chance of some sleet. That ends by midnight. Temperatures expected to stay above freezing while all this is happening, but we do fall below freezing after midnight into tomorrow morning. So anything that is left on the roads, a couple of puddles, maybe a slick spot or two, mainly north of Memphis. But I think the wind should help to blow dry the roadways for the most part before we get to freezing. So in general, I expect tomorrow morning to be pretty normal. Just keep an extra eye out just in case. You never know, especially on the bridges. Just keep a close eye on it. Sunshine close to 40 tomorrow, 48 on Wednesday, 43 for Thursday. Friday, another chance of rain showers. That's going to be all rain. Temperatures well above freezing and then clearing out for the weekend. A very nice weekend ahead. 50s with sunshine and very nice weather for the St. Jude Marathon. So again, in general, I want to reiterate, I don't expect this to be a big deal. I don't expect many of us to notice really anything. Most of us see the rain, maybe some sleet mixes in Memphis, up to the north, a little more sleet possible, but I do not expect major accumulations. You'll be lucky if you see some sleet pile up on your patio table, but other than that, I do not expect major accumulations and certainly no major impact. But again, north of Memphis, just keep an eye out, maybe a slick spot or two early tomorrow morning. We'll keep you updated through the day right here on ABC24 Plus. You can also find me on my Facebook page, Trevor Birchett, ABC24, and we'll be back with more updates on our next newscast on ABC24 News at 5 p.m. as the rain will be moving in. For now, I'll let you go. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett.